Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Wisdom Wednesday. Wherever you are at, oh my goodness, take a pause, get a journal out, because I got a message for you guys this morning that's going to probably tug at your heartstrings.
It all speaks for itself. Grinding in silence, ain't nothing to tell. When we step on the court, we gon' bring it to light. And we stop and pop like we caught it a light. Stop asking what's wrong with me. You already know there's a dog in me. And there's no stopping my focus, man. Make sure all my people gon' ball with me. Yeah, I came to compete, I'm a dog with it. Yeah, I came to compete with my paws in it.
I want to talk to you guys about my son, Grayson Lee Delks, his first day of kindergarten. For any parent, you know what I'm talking about here. This is quite the experience, not only for your child, but for the whole family. And guys, I've got so many takeaways from this life experience. And wise mentor told me one time, there's some things in life that are just known, not taught. And this is one of them, dropping your kid off to their first day of kindergarten. Like, you can't even put it into words. So leading up to this, really months, I have been asking Grayson and helping him prepare his heart and mind to go to preschool, or to go to kindergarten from preschool. And he was a little nervous. And, the deceiver, guys, Ephesians 6:12 says our battle is not against flesh and blood, but the principalities and the spiritual realm. Guys, we have got to battle against negativity. We have to battle against bad thoughts that are coming from the deceiver. John 10:10 says, the thief comes to kill, steal, and destroy, but Jesus came to give you an abundant life. And even at the age of 6, where my son is going into kindergarten, the deceiver's trying to discourage him. The deceiver's trying to bring him down real time. I see it. And so for months, I have tried to help him prepare his heart and mind to walk into kindergarten victoriously. And as we're going, leading up to kindergarten, I'm asking him, he's nervous. And we get to the night before kindergarten. And in my realm of mindset coaching, I always help my clients with their morning routine. It's so huge. And I always say, like, your morning routine starts the night before. And it was the night before kindergarten. And I asked Grayson, how you doing? He's like, I'm still a little nervous. And we're at dinner, and it's raining outside, and I'm like, okay. And my wife, Courtney, she's doing a mental mile every day this year, and she was getting ready to go run her mental mile in the rain. And we started talking as a family, and we're like, you know what, let's go do this mile together. Let's go do this mile together. We're going to get our mind right for tomorrow. We're going to run a mile here in the rain all together, and we're going to knock this out. And my son, I'm proud of him. He ran the whole mile in the rain all the way. And I told him when he got into the truck, I said, dude, you did it. I said, you ran a mile in the rain. You knocked that out. And you can walking into school is going to be easy compared to running this mile in the rain like you did tonight. I'm so proud of you, buddy. Gave him a big hug. And he started smiling, and his emotions started turning positive. He's like, yeah, you're right. You're right, Dad. So we went home, got Baz, and I started reading him a book called The Energy Bus for Kids by John Gordon. And it just talks about how he's going to flip the script, and he's going to bring energy to his classmates. He's going to bring energy to the people around him. And we started getting his mind right. And then the next morning, we woke up, and we started doing our I am affirmations. And I tell him 4 things. 4 things you are, buddy, that we say. And if you ask him, he could tell you. He says, I am a Delks. I am a Delks. Because I'm a Delks, I am strong. I am strong. I am brave is the 3rd one. And then the 4th one is, I am a child of God. And he knows what those 4 things mean. And so we're doing those I am statements on the way to school. Then I turn on a little jam session. Some positive music. We do a little audio adrenaline, kings and queens, and we talk about, the verse in I believe 1st or 2nd Peter, where, we're of a royal bloodline. We are kings and queens. And I tell him that he's a king. I say I'm a king. He says, I'm a king. Then we turn on the Lion King song. Oh, I just can't wait to be king. And I'm not going to sing anymore. You guys are turning the channel right now with that. But he starts singing that, and he starts saying, I'm a king, I'm a king, I'm a king. And he has this positive aura and atmosphere now going into kindergarten. And we take our picture, right, the picture of Grayson going into kindergarten. And as I'm looking at that on my phone, I sent it to my mom and dad and sent it to Papa and Gigi. And my mom and dad send me a picture of me when I was his age. And I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like, I just did all of that for my son, right? And I'm looking at his picture. And I would never tell him that he couldn't chase his dream. I would never tell him not to pursue what God's putting on his heart. Then I look at my picture, my 5-year-old self, this picture of me, right next to him, side by side. And I'm like, oh, it hit me, guys. It hit me. Hit me like a ton of bricks. That I'm that same kid. And I tell that kid that he can't do it. I tell that kid that he's got doubts. I tell that kid that he has all of these deficiencies. And I do all this negative self-talk to that kid. And that is so wrong. And I'm here to tell you guys that we got to double down on our positive self-talk. So I did all this stuff to help my son go to kindergarten. And I'm like, man, I got to do this for myself. God doesn't give me a spirit of fear, but one of power, one of love, one of sound mind. Your thoughts and your words create the life you live. And guys, I'm gonna bring it all together here. Emotions make things real. Thoughts are thoughts. I can have a thought that I'm a king, right? That I'm telling my son he's a king. That's just a thought. But with the emotion behind it makes things real. I started saying it. I started turning music on. And my son was like, I'm a king. And he was emotionally getting behind it. He starts walking into kindergarten, chest puffed up, like he's ready to tackle the day. Emotions make things real. So guys, are you emotionally getting behind who God says you are? Or are you just going through the motions, reading pages, words on a page? Guys, dive deep into the scriptures. Dive deep into who God says you are. And when you abide in the vine, you will bear much fruit. So guys, these are some lessons from a kindergartner. These are some lessons, as Jesus said, who's the greatest? Who's the greatest? And Jesus brought a little child and set him on his knee and said, let the little children come to me, for greatest are they in the kingdom of heaven. He didn't mean their age. He meant their faith. What's your faith like? I'm talking to you. What is your faith like? Do you have faith like a child? Do you have that mustard seed faith that can move mountains? What's God calling you to do today? What's God calling you to act on? What's God calling you to risk? Faith is spelled R-I-S-K. I want you to leave from here and write down 3 things today that you can risk. 3 decisions that you can make. I know you've been wrestling with these. I know God's been putting it on your heart over and over. We've been pushing it down. If you're anything like me, you push it down. No, you're not calling me to do that, God. That ain't me. Do it. Risk it. He who holds on to his life will lose it. But he who gives his life over to God will find it. Guys, walk in victory today. Walk in the power that you possess because of the cross. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I meet with people of all industry that were held back by our own belief. All right? And I want to close here by dropping you a dime from the scriptures where Jesus talks about new wine and new wineskins. And you can't put new wine in old wineskins, it'll burst. But that wineskin, guys, this is your mind. You have to be open to a new way of thinking that God is calling you to do. That what I call God consciousness. And when you let that mindset be one of God's, that is when it's new wine and it's the most amazing taste. And it's a new creation. It's a new life. It's a new transformation. Don't let your old mindset bring you down. And always remember that competing is doing what God is calling you to do, even when it's hard.